People are like, who is DanielleVictor? And I'm like, bitch, it's Danny with 2 N's. Am I a fashion blogger? Maybe. Am I a storyteller? For sure. Am I a badass bitch? Absolutely. So if you're smart, you'll subscribe to my channel.
Welcome back to my channel. Yeah. Hi. Welcome back. I hope everyone had a great day or week. I hope you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time zone this video is being uploaded at. I hope it's awesome for you. I'm in a pretty good mood, as everyone always should be, but you know, life happens, shit happens. But today I'm in a good mood, and I realized that I also need to cut my hair. Like, these ends are fried. Let's not pay attention to that though. Let's pay attention to the story I'm about to tell you. So let's take a stroll down memory lane. Once upon a time, me, my sister, and my older brother, and if any of you didn't know, I do have an older brother, his name is Marquise, lived in a little town called North Andover, Massachusetts. We were like one of the few mixed race families, let alone had any type of color in the family in that town. And, you know, my brother has always been, like, super popular and super cool, probably because he played sports and was in shape, whatever. He's always had, like, a group of friends. And when we were growing up, he had this, like, tight knit. Where's my mind at? Tight-knit group of friends. Richard, AJ, Matt, Josh. There was a few others, but I guess those are the only important ones that I can remember. But anyways, they were like inseparable. They did everything together. Like, went to movies together, went to the park together, tried to skateboard together, because Marquise also went through a phase where he thought he was white as well. Not that black people can't skateboard, but Marquise was definitely going through a mid-teenage crisis. I remember one time he took his skateboard and he just like ran away from the crib, and my parents were like freaking out. They wanted to call the cops, and he ended up being at like the North Andover Youth Center sitting on a bench crying with his skateboard. And I'm like, Marquise, you probably need to get your shit together, because you're not like that good of an influence for me and Gabby right now. Anyways, totally, anyone who's new to my channel, I like go off the hinges when I tell stories. You just have to bear with me, because when I have a thought, I've just got to finish that thought, and if that thought has nothing to do with the story I'm trying to tell, just bear with me. Back to the story. So Marquise used to have slumber parties all the time with his bro group. Slumber parties, I mean, we had this big ass living room, and they would like just get everyone would bring their own sleeping bag, and they would just like lay out in the living room. And Marquise obviously didn't want me and Gabby around ever, because we're his two like awkward little sisters that are 3 years younger than him. And I'm talking like this crush for me on my brother's friend. Oh, by the way, this story time is about how I hooked up with my brother's friend. So I'm just like going all the way back to when my crush started. And my crush started when I was like probably not even in middle school yet, because this is how long Marquise hung out with this crew. He hung out with this guy Matt. And Matt had like he had a rat's tail in the back of his hair. Like, he had all his hair, but he just had like one long piece of hair. And I was like, I love that long piece of hair. Like, I just like used to look at him, and he would sleep over. Mind you, this is like far before I even knew what eyeliner was, or I didn't have tits yet. I probably haven't even got my period at this point, because I was a young girl. But like, when you're growing up, like, I don't even know around what age I think kindergarten for me at first. I had my first crush. His name was Ian, and I wrote him a letter, and I like hit on him to go to like the Valentine's Day party with me, and like he didn't like really respond well back, and that was my first real heartbreak, I think. But anyways, you start getting curious about dudes when you're that young. So at this point, I'm like almost in middle school. My brother's already in middle school, and I'm like, I love this guy. Like, he's so fine with his rat's tail hanging from the back of his head. He was so cute. And I feel like we always flirted. Like, I could be wrong. Like, it could have just been regular ass conversation with him. But like, sometimes my mom would cook and I'd make his plate for him, and he would be like, thanks. And I was like, call me. Except there was no cell phones back then, so we couldn't. I don't even think there was AIM. That's how young we were. Anyways, that's how far back this crush goes, okay? And I just always knew. Like, you know when you just look at a guy and you're like, this is gonna be something. This dude is about to like fuck up my life at some point in time. Maybe I wasn't thinking that because I was really young, but somewhere subconsciously I knew something was gonna happen between me and Matt. I just knew it. I felt it. I believed it. I manifested it. So anyways, time goes on. Middle school comes. I remember there was 8th grade dances, and like sometimes the 8th grade dances would have like, you know, you could sneak in with a crowd of people. So I remember when my brother was in 8th grade, I was in 6th grade. And somehow, some way, some reason, me and my sister ended up going to their 8th grade dance. And this motherfucker asked me to slow dance. And I was like, so I ended up dancing with him. It was no big deal. My brother didn't care because my brother probably thought I was like just like this little girl, or maybe he did care. I don't know. I don't know what goes through older brothers' minds because I'm not an older brother, and I don't know what stress that would cause if you had 2 younger sisters. But besides the point, so high school comes along, and I don't remember how I reconnected with this group of people, but one of my girlfriends that I used to hang out with started dating Matt's best friend Dave, and they all got like this apartment in North Andover together, and they used to throw high school parties. And when my brother wasn't going, I would always be like, I'm going because my brother's not there, and I can like act a fool, you know, I can smoke some weed, drink whatever I want to drink, and it's not going to be a big deal, yada 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 yada. So I remember one night, when was the first time I ever hooked up with this guy? I think it could have been before this. You know what? Actually, let's backtrack. I can't believe I can't remember the exact, that just took me a second. So someone in Lowell, Massachusetts used to throw parties, right? And Matt was there one night and I went. And when we were there, we were like sitting on like somebody's bed that was in the apartment, and when he was sitting on the bed with me, he was like full blown, like I wasn't making this up, it wasn't like a girl crush delusional like hitting, he was like full blown hitting on me. At this point I'm like, my tits have started to come in, like I'm wearing a little bit of makeup, I'm not like what I look like now, but still, you know, I got it going on. You gotta be confident at all degrees of your life, you know. Sometimes you were cuter, but you were still cute. Sorry, I burped. So anyways, he was like, well, Dave's coming back to the crib with Michelle if you want to come with us. And I was like, okay, sure, I guess. So we all went back to Dave's house, and we were like sitting on his couch while Dave and Michelle were off doing whatever they were doing. And he just like leaned in and kissed me. And I was like, oh my God, I love him. Like, I love him. And then we ended up having sex, which is weird because I hate being on top, but I was on top the entire time. And then he told his friends that I rode him like a cowgirl. How my brother didn't find out about any of this for years upon years upon years. He might know now, but like even when all of it was happening, I don't know. Because it just became like this weird secret relationship I started to have with this guy. Like we knew we both couldn't be together because my brother would fucking lose his shit. But after that one night of hooking up with him, it was like they got their own apartment, and anytime my brother wasn't going to their high school parties, I would go, I'd sleep there, we'd cuddle, we'd get breakfast together, we'd have sex all the time. And I'm talking about like, we'd send each other, like, have you seen the movie Friends with Benefits? And they're like, or No Strings Attached, 5 minutes, break room. That was like basically us for years. Years. Okay? And let me just describe this guy so you guys can get he had like that bad boy vibe to him. He had a few tattoos, really, really, really pale skin, blue, like the bluest eyes I've ever seen, black hair, like dark black hair, and in really good shape and short. And, you know, sex was great, but sex is always great when you care about someone, you know? And this went on for years. I mean, I could like, if I could like literally relive countless moments that I've had with this guy. And like great, it wasn't just sex, it was like great conversation too. And then, you know, as the guilty conscience starts to set in and time goes on, he gets into a relationship or I get into a relationship, and then you have like a weird falling out. I can't pinpoint exactly when and where we stopped talking, but we stopped talking. I think he met someone. He's married now. I think he even has children. I should look that up. Where's my phone? I haven't even like searched for this man in like decades upon decades. I don't have his phone number. I haven't talked to him since I was probably 21. So that was a long time ago. But it was just one of those situations where it's like, you know, it's so fucked up. Like, if my brother ever hooked up with one of my friends, I'd be like, bitch, you're cut the fuck off, which he probably would have done too, but I just don't think he knew. I think now he knows. I think now that it's been years upon years upon years, but I think they still kind of work together, but I haven't seen him in a decade, really, like a decade. Not a decade. Oh, a decade. Because I'm fucking 31, and I don't think I've seen him since I was 21. Wow. I haven't seen him in 10 fucking years. I wonder if he looks the same. You guys, hold on. I'm gonna grab my phone so we can take a look at this. Hold on a second. Okay, guys. He has an Instagram. It's public, but he only has one picture, and it was posted like in 2018, and it's of his daughter, which is so weird to me, but I guess it's been 10 years. Of course you're married, of course you have kids. So then I went on Facebook, and I never use Facebook, so I looked at him, and I'm not going to show you a picture just because this is a really sensitive subject. If my brother doesn't know and he sees this video, like, shit's probably gonna go, like, shit's gonna be pretty bad. But I mean, it's like 10 years ago. Like, Marquise, you need to get over it. It happened. He's literally married, has a baby. He's still extremely good looking. He looks older. I mean, he definitely has like lines and wrinkles now because he's about 3 or 4 years older than me. So he's like almost, maybe he's only 2 years older than me. I think he's like 33 or 34. But he's white. You know, white men sometimes age a little quicker than black men. But for that being said, he still looks good. I'm just doing some severe creeping right now, you guys. Hold on. His wife wore black lipstick to their wedding. What the fuck? That's weird. He's still really good looking. Wow, I can't believe he got married. He was so like against relationships. Oh, there's a picture of him crying at his wedding. That's cute. Wow. This was in 2000. When was this? 2015. Oh my god. He's been married for years now. Damn, time flies when you think about old people you used to fuck, huh? Anyways, yeah, so that's that. I mean, anyways, am I never getting married? Am I never having kids? I'm so confused about all this right now. He like wrote me on Facebook about 4 years ago. And then we had like a little bit of a conversation, like a friendly conversation. And then he's like, actually, I can't do this. I'm like, bro, I live in LA. Like, actually, I didn't live in LA yet. it's still like, I'm not gonna fuck a married man unless it's Tom Hardy. Like, it's just not happening. But yeah, I used to have this like secret relationship with my brother's friend, and we'd sneak around, have sex in cars, and at Small Axe Farm, like you name it, we were doing it, and it was fun, and it was one of the best memories I've had in my entire life, really. I think maybe because it was so wrong to do that it just felt so right. You know what I'm saying? But that is that. And I can't believe he's married and has like a fucking big ass kid. His kid looks like she's like 4 or 5. I'm like, holy shit, time flies. Also, I feel like sometimes, like, when you live in a small town that's not like LA, I feel like people feel like they have to settle down. Especially if all their friends are settling down and having kids. Like, they feel like they also have to settle down and have kids. I could be totally wrong about that. I probably am wrong about that. But I feel like when you live in a city like Los Angeles, it's so hard to, like, date and settle down because nobody wants to do that. Like, not a single person in LA is looking to do anything but smash and pass and on to the next one. And then maybe if you meet someone and you have like this crazy intense energy, you're like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll settle down with this girl because she's like, I don't want to lose her. That could just be my personal experience, but I feel like I've had a lot of conversations with other people that feel the same exact way. So correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, that's my story. I'm trash for that, but I have no regrets because it was like one of my fondest memories. He was hot. Sex was great. Memories were great. Conversation was great. Don't remember how we stopped talking or when we stopped talking, but it happens. Life happens. Like, that's how like, it's like sometimes I like think about like how like we hook up with people and stuff or have like these small relationships with people, and then years go by, decades go by, and then you can barely remember really anything about it. And it was like, what was the point of that relationship? Was it just to have that moment in time? But that moment in time you can barely remember. So it's like, what was the point? I don't know. I'm losing. Am I losing all of you? I feel like I just lost myself. Did I lose you guys? Did I? Alright, probably so. Got off the phone and I just was like, okay, he hasn't posted since 2018 on Instagram and he has like no followers and his page is public. So I was like, I'm just gonna DM him. I said, Matt, how the hell are ya? And he wrote back literally within 5 seconds. So let's LOL at that. Hey guys, so I know I filmed the beginning of this video, but then I took a shower and then I thought about like the story I was telling about how I hooked up with my brother's best friend. And then I started to like, I remembered this other guy, Andrew, who was like friends with my brother. I wouldn't say best friends. I mean, they hung out for a while. I would say they were BFFs for a while. But you know, in like middle school and high school, when you do the transition, you start to lose friends. I would say like Andrew was in that group of friends where Marquise was like, like, you're cool, but like I'm really not that cool with you. And I'm not talking about Andrew who took my virginity, because those are two different Andrews. This is a different Andrew. But I remember there was this one time someone had a party in high school and Andrew was there. And he was sitting on the couch, and I, like, no word of a lie, Andrew looked like the sloth from Ice Age. He was like an extreme alcoholic, which is weird because his like family owned like 4 or 5 liquor stores in town. Maybe just one, but they owned a liquor store. But Andrew was an extreme alcoholic, so anytime I saw him, he was like fucking trashed. I wonder if he's still the same way. I should probably try to Google him, make sure he's okay. But I remember I was at a party with him and we were like both sitting on this like raggedy old fucking 1940s pleathered couch, and he like sat close to me. He's like, hey, like beer breath, beer belly. And I was like, hey. He's like, do you want to make out? I was like, okay. And I made out with him, and like, you know when you make out with someone and their saliva is like on your eyebrow? That was like what making out with him was like. And I was like, and he was like, and I was like, and he was like, I was like, skirt. Never going anywhere past this kiss, you're trash. I don't think my brother ever knew about that. I think he definitely knew about Matt. I think he knows about Matt now. Maybe he does. I'm pretty sure he does, because I'm pretty sure his wife does, which means he knows for sure. But whatever, he's just never said anything to me before. I don't know if he knows about Andrew, but Andrew definitely happened. But the second thing that happened was the minute I filmed this story time, I went on my Snapchat. When I went on my Snapchat, this guy Mike, who's been best friends with my brother forever, I think they're still considered quote-unquote best friends, he always used to hit on me back in the day, but nothing ever happened because I wasn't like, he's like not really like my type. Like he's not like, I don't look at him and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Let me be naughty behind my brother's back with you. Like that's not the guy. That wasn't the one doing the job for that job. But besides the point, my Snapchat goes off, and I barely use Snapchat. Like I use Snapchat for the filters. I love the filters on Snapchat. Instagram really needs to step their filters up. So my Snapchat goes off. So I'm so tired. Snapchat goes off and it says Mike. And then his last name. Obviously I'm not going to say his last name. He's married now. So I open it and he was responding to a snap that I posted. He's like, "You're still a dime." First of all, no one's used dime since I was like in high school. And I said, "Thank you." And he's like, "Thank you's all I get." And I go, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I'm special, you know." And I go, "How the fuck are you special?" I literally haven't talked to this dude in probably 20 years. Since I was like a kid. And he was like, "Well, I know you more than anybody else." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Well, that makes me special." I'm like, "Okay, whatever, dude." But I just thought that was weird that I did a video about, like, and this dude knew I hooked up with Matt, and he used to always be so jealous about it, but it's weird that I sat in my bedroom, filmed a whole story time about him, and that same instant, he Snapchatted me. It's like he knew I was talking about it. It was so bizarre. Besides the point, I used to, like, confide into Mike, who was my brother's best friend when I was younger. And I remember when we moved out of our house in North Andover, that's another story time for another whole fucking day. We moved into a small apartment in Tewksbury, Massachusetts. And the computer, which had like the AOL dial-up, was in the living room. And then the couch was diagonal from it. So I remember maybe like 3 or 4 days after I lost my virginity, I was on AIM and I was talking to Mike, and I told Mike what happened, and my brother was behind me, and that's how my brother found out that I lost my virginity to Andrew and then beat Andrew up on the playground. I blame Mike for that, but I also blame myself for talking to Mike. And also, why is my brother creeping on my fucking conversations? I should probably ask him that. Thanksgiving dinner. Oh wait, I'm not gonna be home for Thanksgiving dinner. Ask him that, like, maybe at Christmas. But yeah, I just wanted to, like, tell you guys that because I thought it was funny that I remembered only Matt. Because I think Matt is the only person that I actually, like, genuinely cared about. Like, I genuinely cared about him. I don't anymore, but, I mean, I wish him well, obviously. Like, God bless his beautiful child, and God bless his wife. But, like, I'm not, like, if I never see him again, like, the world is not coming to an end. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. And I just thought it was funny that all those things happen. And you know what? My brother only texts me like once every 6 to 7 months. Like sometimes when I even fly home, he doesn't even know I'm coming home because we don't really talk like that. And right after I filmed the video about hooking up with his best friend, he texted me a day later and was like, "Hey, how are you? Just checking in." I was like, "Oh, I'm surviving. I might be home for Christmas." He goes, "Okay, I just want to let you know I love you." I was like, "I love you too." Please love me after. Even though I think he already knows. Like, your brother always knows. I feel like your family members always know when you fuck up. Or when you do something behind their back. It's like they always know. Like, Gabby crashed my car when we were in high school and she said she didn't. And I was like, "Bitch, I know you did." And like years later she confessed. I'm like, "I knew it. Fucking knew it, bitch." Okay, that's it. Story time done. Even though this has been continued. Because I forgot about some shit. Now I'm adding some shit in. So this is how the story time is going. Anyways, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But as I always say, if you're giving it a thumbs down, you probably shouldn't be on my channel. Alright? But if you loved my channel and my story and just me in general. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you already are not subscribed. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to hit their subscribe button. We are at 87,000 subscribers. We're one step closer to 1 million genuine people. I can taste it, I can smell it, I can feel it, I can breathe it. Yes, 1 million. We're gonna get there. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, XXODanielle, and Swallow It Podcast. Please follow both, because if you support me, you support everything I do, and Swallow It is very important to me. Don't forget to go to Amazon and buy my book, and don't forget to, you know, sleep with 1 or 2 of your brother's friends if he's not a complete and utter psychopath, because it's fun, and it's a good memory, and it's a good story to tell. And I want to know, everyone who's done something like this, comment below. And if you're a brother and you found out that your sister did that, tell me what you did about it. Comment that below. Anyways, I love you guys to the moon and back. Thank you for tuning in. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.